Mr. Bhayani, thank you so much for joining us on the CSR German. I would like to understand what is the product that you have created and how is it going to help the Indian market?
Okay. First of all, Neha, thank you for having me on the show. The product we have created is called a smart PC category. Some people also call it a mini PC. And it's basically a cloud connected device that allows people to use with their TV set.
Okay.
So it makes any TV into a PC
Okay.
at a price point that is quite affordable for Indian consumers of about 5,000 rupees.
Okay. Why do you think this will work very widely in the Indian market?
So, we are a very cost conscious society.
Okay.
So, if you look at a PC, it costs almost 20,000 rupees.
Correct.
You look at a tablet, what most consumers are buying, it's 4,000 to 6,000 rupees. But essentially, the tablet that comes in that price range goes bad in about 6 months.
Correct.
The battery doesn't retain power, the screen resolution is low, the touch surface goes bad, and people don't use it after a while.
Okay.
What we have built is a complete hybrid of a PC applications like Microsoft Office as well as Android apps.
Okay.
And you can use it also with a PC monitor.
Okay.
But by allowing interface to the TV, we are lowering the total cost of ownership big way.
Okay. Tell me, how does this go in sync with the Digital India plan that the government has?
Correct.
How is this in sync with that?
Okay. So very interesting. This product was developed keeping both the initiatives in mind, that how to provide alternative to inexpensive tablets, as well as the last mile problem of Digital India.
Correct.
Because the fiber is going to go only up to a certain point. After that, government is relying on a private sector to deliver the service to homes.
Correct.
So, because we are resource constrained, we say everybody will have a smartphone and that is where service will be consumed.
Okay.
But people miss one thing, that before they will buy expensive smartphone, they will buy a TV.
Okay.
Because it's a family item.
So this
Versus
is
a
part of your study that you have done while creating
Correct.
this product. Okay, then.
Correct. The second thing is the user experience you get on a big screen, right? Let's say you want to shop a product,
Okay.
right? The bigger it looks, more likely you are going to buy,
Right.
more detail you see,
Correct.
right? So there is a whole, psychology behind content consumption and information absorption that is not possible on a small device.
Absolutely.
That only comes from a big screen.
Absolutely. That's the reason we sometimes refer to laptops also to get a mid-sized screen.
Exactly.
Per se. Okay.
Exactly.
Okay. How is the consumer behavior different from the kind of consumer behaviors you see in the US, where you are largely based?
Correct.
What is the kind of consumer behavior and acceptance of certain products in the US and India?
Correct. So I'll give you a little longer answer here.
Absolutely.
See, India as a society goes through what I have come to define as a evolutionary discontinuity.
Okay.
So we never had enough landline infrastructure, right? So internet started with telephony infrastructure,
Correct.
right? That is why the broadband penetration in India
Was
wired is still very slow.
Yes.
Right? We have 260 internet users, but only 20 million are on a wired internet,
Okay.
right? What people forget is behind the wireless internet is a wired infrastructure.
Absolutely.
So the experience you get on a mobile wireless is far inferior to the experience you will get in a foreign country.
Absolutely.
The second thing is, just like in the telephony system, we never got used to voicemail, right?
Yes.
We use WhatsApp,
Correct.
right? So that is what I refer to as a generation skipping or a generational discontinuity.
Okay.
In US, people are using smart devices after having used PC.
Okay.
Okay, so they know for what kind of use case, what device is to use.
How do you believe that the smart PC device that you have worked and created, how does it work in the CSR aspect in our country?
Correct.
Where do you rope in that angle?
Correct. So, in Indian ecosystem, the cost of distribution is very high.
Okay.
Meaning, if I were to sell this product in retail, which we do by the way, the retail price is 8,000 rupees for the lower end model and 10,000 rupees for the higher end model.
Okay.
Under CSR, we can give it below 5,000.
Okay.
Partially because we have a motive or mode of operation, what we call not for profit,
Absolutely.
right? Because we want to see consumer get on the net.
Okay.
It opens the entire horizon, of what the world is outside.
And it gives them a feel of using a keyboard and the mouse.
Exactly.
That's right.
We include very high quality wireless keyboard and mouse.
Okay.
We can further reduce the cost if we were to give a wired keyboard and mouse.
Okay.
But we don't want to create two models, urban users and tier 2, tier 3 market.
Okay.
So we have kept a higher end product.
Okay.
But if there is more price pressure and volume comes, we'll also deliver even a lower price point.
So you're not targeting the higher end. So you're trying to tell me the smallest and the most remote of villages cannot really use your product. One is because of electricity, and second is the user friendly product.
Correct. So that is exactly the point. The device consumes less than 6 watts of power.
Okay.
And the way it is designed is it will also operate in an offline mode, meaning even when there is no internet, as long as there is a power, you can do number of things on the device.
So how does this work with digital literacy, where what the government is trying to propagate?
Correct. So under Digital India, I believe there are 11 or 12 various e-services. Today, I believe apps for 5 of them are released.
Okay.
All those 5 services comes preloaded in the device.
Absolutely.
As more services become enabled, they automatically are pushed from iRevo cloud into the smart PC. So a consumer doesn't even have to know the concept of app store.
Tell corporates that, take my product and put it out as part of your CSR activity so that it reaches more people. How do you work in that aspect?
So I'll give you one specific example.
Okay.
We have partnered with Vocard Foundation. Okay. So what Vocard Foundation has done is they have asked us to customize the smart PC with all the education content. Okay. So the desktop is full of subject matters, social sciences, physics, chemistry, and so on. Right? All the study subjects. Through our cloud, based on what the user logs in, we will present the right content for the grade level he is in. Okay. So these are the kind of things we are looking at that do a three-way match, meaning a CSR sponsor, a CSR implementer, and CSR technology provider.
Okay. So what is the result? What is the outcome that you see when we put this three-way match together?
We would assume that more and more schools will have access to computers. So, which has two aspects in my personal opinion. One is learning with consistency. See, what computer does is it allows you to deliver certain constant quality content, education material across the board. Today, what happens is, largely what student gets is based on what is the textbook and what is the teacher's ability
to put that across.
Correct. And also it is not engaging the student.
That's right.
On computer, he is exploring on his own.
Correct.
Right? So, and he goes at his own pace. Okay. The second aspect is we are hoping that the users will learn the basic use of computer, which is communication and information access. So if they can do search and email, they become computer literate. These are the very basic necessities. It is not whether they know language or not. They learn automatically.
Very largely based in the Silicon Valley, and of course you're trying to sell your products in our country. What is the difference in the mindset that you see of users there and here over the period of years in your area of experience?
Correct. See, internet and computers were invented in US. It started in early 80s. There was very interesting thing I learned. So last 2.5 years, I spent a lot of time in India. In fact, majority of the time I live in India. What I discovered is that people are just getting TVs in their houses in a particularly tier 2, tier 3 market and masses. Yes, we are transitioning from CRT to flat panel displays. Internet is there in some small fashion. The economic affordability is not much different than what it was 30 years back in US. If you look at the computer penetration, how it started in US, every single product, they use TV as the terminal.
Okay.
Whether it is Radio Shack, Commodore, IBM, Apple, TV was the monitor.
Okay. Okay.
Because if you buy a separate monitor, the cost was very high. The same thing is here, that if I buy a second screen beside the TV, the cost is very high,
Okay.
right? An inexpensive display will cost you 5 to 6,000
But
rupees.
people do not have the understanding that a smart PC can fix the solutions of a second screen.
Exactly.
So you're trying to tell me that lack of awareness is a problem here?
Big problem.
What are the other issues that you see besides that?
Second one is a distribution channel. So, for example, in US, the online media and online marketplaces are extremely efficient. Here, it is very difficult because the mass that we are trying to reach, tier 2, tier 3 cities and CSR or education institute, they don't buy online. They are not online as much.
Okay. See, you have told me that it is a very CSR oriented product that you've tried to make,
Smart.
and that will take it to the masses.
Yes.
But if your cost is coming in between, how do you manage that?
So that is where partially we are looking for donor, and by doing a direct partnership with the donor and CSR implementer, we are able to lower the cost by 40 to 45%.
Alright.
Partially CSR initiative, we lower our profits quite a bit, and partially I don't have a distribution expense.
So have you spoken to any corporates? Have you spoken to people who are involved in education to take this product further?
We are just starting the process of talking to people who create educational content. But the pilot we started, like I said, with Vocart Foundation, which actually also builds its own education library,
What's the
content
response
library.
you've got from the product that you've begun with them? What's the response of the pilot study?
It has been quite positive.
Okay.
So they started with one, they did second, now they are doing third, and we are starting a discussion that how Vocart Foundation and iRevo can jointly also approach CSR donors.
Okay.
And it's not limited to actually CSR. Even a lot of money comes from overseas,
Okay.
under various schemes for education. Even that money would be, wisely used under these programs.
Okay. What do you think of the current CSR regime that is prevailing in our country, and from the technology aspect, which you're very experienced with?
Okay. So I would not say I'm an expert, but here a little bit what I have heard is like this, that there is a lot of government oversight on how you spend the money on CSR.
Correct.
So many people said, I don't want headache, I give to Prime Minister's fund,
Okay.
right?
Correct.
Then there is other side of our society that, will only give money in their community,
Absolutely.
their causes and such, right? Then there are good but competing initiatives like, what Mr. Premji is doing or what Khan Academy and Tata recently announced.
Correct.
So ultimately, I would like to see how we connect the dots amongst various initiatives.
Okay.
Because in the end, what we have built is a delivery mechanism to the masses at a price point that absolutely nobody in India offers.
So this is very majorly for the masses. How do you, what role do you think individuals have to play in this? What is their aspect? How important are they in CSR to you?
I think in the end, we are a society of word of mouth.
Okay.
Okay. And I would welcome everybody, those who want to try and, promote it further in their ecosystem. Device is also available for personal consumption.
What do you think will help create awareness in the future using technology itself for your product?
Correct.
Like technology awareness using technology.
Correct. I think that my understanding is that the education sector is reasonably organized through various government agencies and industry organizations. So as we explore this journey, we would like to partner with as many people and rely on them to introduce further.
Okay. You have been based in the US and you, of course, are living in India. What do you think and how do you think will the CSR domain and the regime grow over a period of years, in the coming years?
I think, my gut feeling is, this is a very loaded question, but my gut feeling is that a government policy will play a large role.
So you're okay with the mandate?
Mandate is okay, but the scrutiny may discourage many people to play proactive, creative initiatives,
Okay.
right?
And what about the ones who don't give back? You're talking about the proactive, which is a very small percent. What about the ones who are making so much profits and not giving back?
So I just read somewhere in the newspaper that government is talking about having a law or something to, penalize them or something.
Absolutely.
So, um, see, it's a very uh, complex ecosystem here, right? That forcing for-profit business to donate money, right? Is it the right thing?
What
Right?
do you
So,
do socially to increase the benefit for the people who really want to study and be educated?
so the good thing is, in Silicon Valley, we actively support number of organizations at a different level. So Ekal and Pratham, which are primarily India organizations, they are very active.
What is CSR to you?
CSR to me is a very unique opportunity for corporations to make a difference in the community, in the life of many employees. I would like to suggest that government or companies find out that there is a certain class of employees they don't earn enough. The salary disparity in India is just mind boggling,
Yes.
right? True freedom comes with economic independence,
Absolutely.
and that only will come to India through knowledge.
Okay. That's an excellent note to close on.
Yes.
And thank you so much, Mr. Bhayani, for speaking with us. We really hope your product does really well. All the very best to you.
Thank you very much. Thank you
so
for
much.
having me.
Thank you, sir.
Okay.